Here we are. We're
Hey,
live.
Brad.
Mr. Jim, welcome everybody to the latest edition of Health and Wealth Lunch Chat. I guess this is the first one that we're doing, Jim, titled this. And we'd like to welcome our special guest, Mr. Jim Kirk of Rocky Mountain Financial Solutions, and a dear friend of mine for many years. This is kind of fun that we get to work professionally together as well. We had the idea that maybe we should do something like this for the general hint community. And I'm kind of glad. I'm excited to do this with you. So welcome.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Of course. So for everyone that's listening, we'll do quick intros here. And then if you have questions or comments or deep, dark secrets or anything you want to share, feel free to drop them in the comments. We like to keep these interactive as possible. We're just going to have a fun conversation today. And then as we go along, we'll answer questions that people ask. And Jim, you'll do your little disclaimer that this is not technically financial advice. So if there's any questions like that come through, then they can talk to you after the fact. But
absolutely.
Give us a little intro about yourself.
Yeah, as Brad said, my name is Jim Kirk. Full name is James Michael Kirk. So for you Star Trek fans, it's not. I'm sorry to let you down here on a Tuesday afternoon, but I first got into the business in 2007 as an advisor. Worked with a couple different firms. Moved out to Denver in 2011. Worked in corporate finance for a few years, and it was back in 2017 when I was actually looking for a financial advisor myself. And at the time, I was working in corporate finance. I had worked as a CFO of a national construction company, and then I was at the time manager of the finance department for a technology company, and was looking for some outside help for myself. And looked around my community, really didn't see it, didn't find the exact type of person that I was looking for. So that's when I was like, you know what, I know this business. That's where I had spent a number of years previously. It is something that I have a passion for and want to share that knowledge with other folks. So I said, you know what, might as well just build it myself. I kind of saw the writing on the wall with the job turnover in the corporate world, and didn't want to keep jumping ship, and thought it was a good time to just start on my own. So started doing the research, started putting all my marketing stuff together, started building on the side of my full-time job, and doing the burning the midnight oil, with all the things that I needed to do to start my business. So I started my own registered investment advisory firm, and officially got registered with the state and all that in 2018. And so we're based here in Erie, Colorado, and have been off and running ever since.
That's awesome. Your story, I haven't heard that level of detail actually, so I just learned a ton about you. That's good to know you better. No, but that rings bells with me, and I know it rings bells with a lot of physicians and DPC docs, because that is almost word for word what a lot of DPC docs feel as well. I was working with the corporate system, got burnt out, started thinking about how can I do this better, and then they start their own. And quite a large number of DPC clinics are about the same age as Rocky Mountain Financial Solutions as well, 2017, 2018 and newer. And so that's really cool. That really resonates. So thank you for sharing that. We've talked a lot about, direct primary care, because I love talking about myself and my clinic, obviously. You know that about me. And once you started learning about direct primary care, you even told me one time, like, wow, that just makes sense to do it, to have that time. And you mentioned, hey, that's kind of what I do, because you're a quote unquote single doc shop. It's just you at your firm, for the most part. And so how are you and Rocky Mountain Financial Solutions like a DPC? How do you kind of make that connection?
I think there's a lot of parallels. So thanks for teeing me up on this one. First and foremost, I think it's that personal connection, that personal relationship you have with your patients, my clients, your patients. It's not a number. It's someone who can pick up the phone and call you. It's someone who can text you, someone that you can see, as you're out, running in the neighborhood or running through the streets of your town. Like, and you can stop and talk to them. It's that level of personal relationship that you have with these folks. Like, the clients aren't numbers, even though my audience or my clients are nationwide. The folks that I work with here locally, I've coached their teams in the community, their kids teams, right? Like you see them out and about. That's where a lot of that connection comes from. It's just, and the starting point with the DPC, you have your patients come in, right? The first question you ask, where does it hurt? And the first question I'm asking is how can I help? What's hurting you from a financial standpoint? What concerns do you have? What brings you, to this meeting today? And then I have this paradigm of medicine, from my approach and how the doctors operate. And it's, these are your symptoms, or the extent of the injuries that you have or occurred. And then, in my experience, the most effective treatment for, X, Y, and Z, and in these such cases is this. And this is how and when we restore you back to health, financial health. And this is the cost for that. And, like those 4 steps, when you write them down and relate that paradigm of medicine, it all makes sense. And I'm not, I don't walk into a meeting, much like you doctors don't sit there with your prescription pad, ready to write, your most famous, or a drug that you don't even know anything about. You're going to sit there and listen. You're going to sit there and learn about what the patient is dealing with, how they feel, answering the question where it hurts. And then you make a treatment plan after fully understanding their situation. And I'm the same way. It's not a transactional relationship at all. It's, hey, you're coming to me because you need help. We're going to help you today. But oh, by the way, I'm going to help you for the next 30 years or longer if that's the case. So I think there's a lot of parallels with our businesses. Absolutely.
Yeah, no kidding. It's not a one size fits all approach, which is one of the reasons I love what you do. That's really cool. So one thing, just briefly, just because it came to mind, one thing that obviously I love it as a doc, but one thing that you offer even before you kind of started working with physicians is you do kind of a second opinion on people's finances. Tell me about that, just kind of briefly, of like a free review, if you will, because I do free meet and greets because it's a little bit of a different vibe in a DPC and in my clinic to, hey, it's a membership model. Just come on in, see if we're a good fit. Same similar thing for you, right?
Absolutely. So a lot of people, will come to me for a number of different reasons, right? So they may have been working with an advisor who, is getting close to or about to retire. Maybe that advisor had left the business, or they're just working with their parents' advisor. So there's a lot of reasons why people might initially want to talk to you. And one way to help, drop the curtain down from that hesitation or that procrastination is just say, hey, let me look at it. I'll tell you what you're doing. I'll understand what you're trying to accomplish financially. And then I'll let you know if you're heading down the right path or not. And you know what? If you're going down the right path, I'm going to tell you that. If you're not, I'm going to tell you that. There was someone who I had met playing basketball. Big shocker there. And he had told me for years that he was with an advisor. And then for whatever reason, he came to me about 3 months ago and said, hey, I think I need to talk to you. I said, that's fine. There's no pressure. Like, you don't have to become a client. Like, if you're in good shape, I'm going to tell you that. And he came to me because his wife's account was significantly outperforming 2 of his accounts. And he was concerned about that. And he's like, I don't understand what's going on here. So I said, send me your statements. Then we sat down. I got to understand what he was trying to accomplish, what he was trying to do. And we went through his statements, and there was no support of those financial goals that him and his wife had with the statements that we were looking at. And I just, I got to tell him that. The light bulb went off in his head. He's like, I've known you for so long, And I've been dragging my feet to bring this up to you because I didn't want it to be a fraction in our relationship. I said, if you were fine, I would have told you that. I was hoping to see that. If your accounts at all look like your wife's account, I would have said, you're fine.
Good.
The fact that even in the same household, there was so much disconnect across 3 different accounts, it was so disturbing to him that he actually left that advisor and came on board with me.
Yeah.
And it's just the little things that sometimes people aren't aware of what to look for. They don't know, just because you have an advisor doesn't mean everything that advisor is doing is in your best interest, or it's going in the right direction for you, supporting those financial goals that you have. So a simple second opinion where I don't charge people for it. And for any of the Hint members, anyone who takes a listen to this webinar, feel free to reach out. Let me know that you listened into this webcast, and I'd be happy to offer that same service to you. Just to, it's a checks and balance. It's a health checkup, right? I'm taking a look at the vitals. Unfortunately, yeah, it's a little bit more like a blood test because there's a little bit more work to do. You got to download a couple documents and share them with me, all that good stuff. But hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna dive into the weeds and take a look at the blood panel and see what we're looking at. And then, you'll know exactly whether you're going the right direction or if there's some proposed changes to make.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know how to speak our language. That was a great. it made perfect sense in my mind. So whether you rehearsed that or not, that was fantastic. The personal touch, and I know you've said before, I'm just going to put you on the spot again. You don't have to answer this, but you've said before that you don't love just the one-time annual reviews. You like multiple touch points because it's all just part of the thing with you. It's like, hey, just shoot me a text. Hey, the markets are down. What do you think? Or, hey, I had a question about this or that or whatever. And I encourage my patients to do the same thing. And it's those touch points. Dentists, Danny, my wife, always says, dentists have done a great job that you need to come in at least every 6 months, And in health insurance companies say, oh, you should go to your doctor once a year. I tell our patients, hey, come in as much as you want, because that's the healthy relationship, and that's what it comes down to. You have the time to work with finances, the wealth, and then the health part as well. So awesome. Other thoughts before I ask a couple more questions?
Sure. Yeah, I think along those lines is when you think about the questions that you ask your doctor, you're trying to compound your health decisions in the right direction. Should I be eating this? Should I be drinking this? Should I cut this out of my diet? What types of exercises should I be doing? It's the same way with finances. It's not just, oh, I own this stock or this index, right? Mm-hmm. You own 3 rental properties. Big deal. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're heading in the right direction. Okay. So when you can compound the right decisions with your wealth, and it makes your wealth creation more efficient and more faster on that trajectory levels, because you have someone and in your back pocket or as part of your your household professional team that you can rely on to help you make these decisions. Because there's that lost opportunity cost with every wrong decision you make when you're trying to build your wealth or expand your practice, or when you think about putting money aside to open a new DPC office, right? Like you have to make sure you have to build a plan around it. You have to have the financing in place, and then you have to execute that. And if you keep making the wrong decisions with your finances, that just makes it a little bit longer to the point at which you're going to reach your financial goals. So yes, when I have my clients working with me, they're charging a fee based off assets under management, but we're also building a full comprehensive plan for them, and that's included. And then there's all the financial decisions that I make for my clients. Whereas I had a client come in and say, hey, should we be buying this truck or should we lease this truck? Well, I don't know. Let me run the numbers for you and I'll tell you what to do. Okay. Should I keep this insurance policy, or should I think about, an alternative insurance policy at a lower cost? Mm-hmm. Well, everything, we can audit all these policies for clients. We can audit their portfolios and help them make, all these small decisions start compounding in the right way. It just makes it that much easier and that much faster for people to reach their financial goals. So I think the compounding practice is very important, because if you Google something, like I can Google my health problems,
Dr. Google, as they say.
You're just going to get whatever health problem has the best SEO, right?
That's true.
Like it's not necessarily, but then like all the symptoms could be the same, and it's the same with finances. You can Google, how can I, what's the best investment for me? Okay, well, whatever company has the best marketing dollars is going to be way up there. And then it leads to paralysis from analysis, because then you think, okay, there's these 10 top companies that say, I should do this with my money. I should do this with my money. Well, someone could just call me in 2 seconds and get an answer. Some of my clients call me the chat GPT because I respond extremely quick to them with their questions. It's part of that's a concierge service we've talked about.
Yeah.
And part of it is just helping people, make those right decisions, because they all compound in one way or another, and you want to make sure it's going the right way for you.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. We have one question from Mr. John Gordon on LinkedIn, actually. He said, do you help patients, that's to me, or clients to you, understand the impact saving in Bitcoin can have on their personal finances and long-term health? For me personally, I don't give financial advice to my patients. However, for Bitcoin, I have seen, just like day traders, are usually a little more stressed. Those who save a big percentage of their portfolio in Bitcoin are usually a little bit more stressed. It's a little bit more volatile. So that's just, I just chuckle. That's a good question. And you could fill in the blank for Bitcoin or other things as well that are just a little bit more high stress volatile. I don't know. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I do not give any recommendation on Bitcoin. There's nothing with cryptocurrency that says, hey, this is a good asset. The assets I want to invest in actually have profits and can just, what's that?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And they're generating income. Those are the types of investments that we like. It's not to say you can't, because before Bitcoin, it was penny stocks, and along with penny stocks, and to some extent, like kind of in between there, it was the meme stocks, right? Yeah. So if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I own this meme. I've been owning GameStop for a long time," and some days it's great, some days it's not great, because they're into the crowdfunding or the crowdsourcing of knowledge and all that. That's fine. But you know what I'm going to help you do is I'm going to help you mitigate the risk of that to your portfolio. So you're not going to make a killing by it, but you're also not going to get killed by it. So that's another thing that, it's just part of the whole comprehensive analysis and relationship that I have with my clients. If they want to own something, that's great. Go ahead, own it. I had people come up to me who came on board as clients, wanted to own specific stocks that were not great stocks. I said, that's fine. You can open it, keep your account wherever it was being held at. And, I will help you with the risk side of how much exposure we want to your whole household plan. And that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with owning a little bit of some of these assets that could potentially have some big returns to them, but it's just not something that we're going to build into a plan. When we look at building a plan for clients, we're looking at historical numbers that are 90 plus years. Okay. So when you think about equity positions, whether it's small cap stocks, large cap stocks, mid cap stocks, these have a track record of 90 plus years that we can rely on and we can look back on to have some idea of how to position clients. With Bitcoin, I would not know how to do that. I'd be lying if I said I did. But from a risk management standpoint, we can help you with that. We can help you make sense of it and how it can fit into the big picture of your portfolio.
Nice. One thing you mentioned previously, thanks, Mr. John, I see a response as well. That's great. In terms of basically what you're saying, what I'm hearing, and I'm sure some other listeners are saying, you're like a personal CFO for each of your clients, right? Do I buy the truck, lease it? What about expanding a DPC practice? All those things. Because it is fantastic to have not a second set of eyes, but an objective set of eyes, right? For like, hey, I want to have a second location or I want to bring on another doc, right? Or another nurse staff. I need more space. I need more things because we're growing so fast. So what one or two things off the top of your head that, you could tell docs right now to start shoring up their foundation for growth? Like what could I'll say we, because I'm a doc, right? Be doing in terms of saving money, things like that. But how do we almost look in the future of, I'm kind of making this question a lot more difficult than it is in my mind, of the growth picture. So we meet with you, and okay, how do we project out when, where, how, why can we grow?
I think initially you think about the cash, you think about your cash balances, do you have the funds available? Okay. So that's one. If you don't have the funds available, what kind of debt can we secure? What kind of financing, small business financing, SBA loans, what relationship do you have with a bank or another lender that could help you support this growth? And then I think from a personal side, from the practice side, you're kind of thinking in your head, like, okay, am I seeing so many patients right now that I'm bursting at the seams at this location that I no longer can support any more people coming in here? I have enough patients that's we're booked solid. We literally need another physical location to put people to staff with a small office staff, as well as another physician in there to help see the people that appreciate our philosophy at our practice and how we operate. And so, you look at it from both sides, right? One's the operational side, and then one's the financial side. Then you got to, they both have to make sense. And then you move forward, right? Compounding the right decisions, right? Because because you have the assets and you have the money to expand, does that mean that it makes sense? Probably not. But if you're bursting at the seams, and then, in 6 months, you can forecast, or I could help you forecast what your financials will look like in the next 6 months, 9 months, then you have that cash flow and the ability to, put a down payment on a property, or you're just going to rent some space. You have the funds to do it, as well as, enough cash reserves to open and staff a location. There you go. So you got to kind of look at it from both sides. The doctor comes at it from an operational side, and then they can ask some questions of me in terms of how it'll be structured financially and what that would look like going forward. Because, you don't want to go backwards. You want to make sure that you're cash flowing in the right direction from day one, to hit the ground running and prevent, the negative net worth impacting you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And the reverse is also true for consolidation, right? I just consolidated 2 clinics to 1, a little bit of personal story, I guess professional technically, but financially it was fine to have 2, but it was for other reasons, it just didn't quite work out. And so I bounced a few ideas off you and a couple other people I trust. And it just made sense to consolidate for now and then hit the gas pedal and grow at a different time. So I can vouch for you and for, having a close knit team for us docs, your inner circle, to just not feel bad about, hey, I'm thinking about growing or consolidating or this, that, or whatever. It's always good because us docs, we always think we're the smartest ones in the room, and then when money's involved, we're like, yeah, maybe we're not the smartest ones in the room. So that's a broad sweeping statement. That's just how I feel with, the imposter syndrome here and there. So having a close knit team with someone like you, Jim, and other people that you trust, I would highly recommend for the docs listening that, being able to have those soundboards is extremely valuable. So, so at what point should a DPC doc like myself consider getting a personal CFO like you, or a financial advisor, right? Like, is it like right at the beginning when we're just out of residency? Would it be after we've already been open and when we're switching from a fee for service? Like, when do you think would be a good time to have these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the answer is yesterday, right? The sooner you can get someone, that, that you can hire on your team. It's no different from your health. When's the right day to, start turning my health around and living a healthy lifestyle? Yeah. Well, it was yesterday, right? And if it's not yesterday, it's right now. So, like I'm going to start eating good starting right now, start, sleeping better at night. I'm going to start taking care of my mental health, starting today. It's the same thing with the finances, right? Financials, as soon as you can get someone on board that you believe has the same philosophies as you, the better. And it's not like you go interview one financial advisor and you're set with them. I encourage people, even after they've talked to me, I say, go down the street, go talk to someone else. I'm not the only one in town. I'm not the only one in the country doing this. There's thousands, if not millions. I mean, go talk to the other guys, see what they say, and then just see who's a comfortable fit for you. Can you talk to this person? Is this someone you want calling you? Because when things happen, advisors need to call their clients, and vice versa. Clients need to call their advisors. So if it's someone that you feel comfortable with, if it's someone you feel like you can gel with and they understand what you're trying to accomplish, financially, and they can help get you there, the sooner the better. And, yes, each doctor, each physician or DPC doc, they're coming in it from a different angle. Some are W-2, some are, 1099 because they're picking up shifts. Some are just running their own business, so there's a lot of different scenarios coming into play. But everyone has some sort of need or something that they're trying to accomplish. And that's what we're here for. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you reach your financial goals. So the sooner we get ready and get you organized and heading in the right direction, the better.
Oh, that's awesome. I know we're getting close to time. Is there anything else you want to bring up before I do a plug for Hint Summit? Because you're going to be at Hint Summit. So
I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy to be a sponsor. Looking forward to meeting a bunch of the Hint folks. Be there. Yep, September 27th, 28th. I'll be there sponsoring a booth. So after you hear all the physicians talking on stage, come out. Stop by my booth. I'm going to have a putting challenge there. So take some putts. If you want me to look at your golf swing and tell you why you're not breaking par yet, I'll let you know. Brad will be first in line for that, so step in line after him. But yeah, just looking forward to it. But just to everyone at Hint, the people who are listening or the people who are watching this recording, I said it before. I'm here to help you. If you guys have questions, if you guys are looking to better understand your own finances, better to understand your own comprehensive picture, or whatever concerns you have, financially right now, I'm here to help. My practice was built initially on retirement planning, helping people get to that retirement stage of their life. And then it morphed into helping small business owners, succession planning. It goes into wealth management. And then I provide insurance solutions when it comes to disability, long-term care, and life insurance. So if anyone wants a review or an audit, I'm happy to help. Please reach out.
Oh, that's awesome. Personal and professional plug for Jim. But yeah, Hint Summit's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. The venue is beautiful. And Jim will be there with a great booth. And yes, I will be working on my putting in front of you. But you're a lefty, so it's kind of a little bit different. But anyway.
Hey, I'm the only one in my right mind. That's what they say.
That's right. Cool. Well, thanks, Jim. This is fun. We'll do it again soon. And then we'll see everyone at Hint Summit.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.